Good day students. Welcome to yet another class of information technology. Now today we are going to continue with the next session of Web Applications and Security Unit 4, which is Internet Security. So this is session number 8. Now what is Internet Security? Now, Internet security is a branch of computer security which is not only related to the Internet, it is often involving the browser security and your network security. So, its objective is to set some rules and measures to help you fight against the attack over the Internet. So, if there is some sort of a cyber attack or how to protect your computer, how to protect your browser and the network, those are the what we are going to learn under the Internet Security chapter. Now why do we need Internet Security? What is the actual need for Internet Security? Let us understand that first. So Internet provides a lot of valuable information and entertainment. So when it is giving you so much of information and entertainment, it has to be, you have to be very sure that there are no online threats and your passwords, your credit card details, your debit card, online banking information, all this is secure from unauthorized users, because as you keep on using your computer for doing certain type of online transactions, there is always a chance of or an online threat of this being used by unauthorized users. So that is why it is very important to have something called as internet security. Also, some websites, when you visit certain websites, they may also install some malware into your computer without your knowledge and consent, and this may leave your computer damaged. There are also certain online threats like phishing, email spoofing, or even chat spoofing, which increases the chances of your data of the user getting fully compromised. So for all these purposes, we need to have a good internet security system. So now let us understand what we have to do so that what are the best practices that we can follow to ensure internet security. Let us now understand some of the practices that we can follow to ensure complete internet security. Now these are the measures that we can follow as a user of the computer to protect as much as possible the data that we have on our computer, so that it from all the different types of online threats. So the first one is to maintain a very strong password. Nowadays, most of the applications, especially banking applications and certain types of chat applications, etc., use a lot of passwords. So how should your password be? When you are giving a password to a particular, what are the rules that you need to follow? First is that you have to have a combination of alphabets as well as numbers, so that it is very difficult for a person to crack it. So a combination of alphabets and numbers, then a very lengthy password of say 12 to 14 characters, around a bit of a lengthy password, so that it becomes difficult for it to be traced. Then also you have to see to it that certain repetitive dictionary names, letters, or names of relatives, pets, etc., all this, or your birth dates, or something which is very predictable, this type of data should be avoided as the password. Many of the people have a habit of putting their name and their date of birth, or their father's name or pet's name. So these are all some predictable passwords which people do use. So please try to avoid such type of passwords. Then you can include numbers and symbols in your password so that it becomes more tricky. Then always use capitals and lowercase. So a combination of capital letters and small letters can be used. Then you should avoid using the same password on multiple sites. Suppose you have many different sites which you are having to use passwords. Please try to avoid using the same password on all the sites. You have to keep on trying with different passwords for different applications and sites. So also avoid that when you are using when you're using the password, you have to be very careful, because you have to sometimes use that in public or when you're with your working partners. So you have to be very they know there are certain people who may predict and know your password, what likely is supposed to be your password. So you have to be very careful about using your password. Also use a random password generator if possible. There are certain software like a random password generator which will generate a random password for you, so you can try using that type of password generator. So these are basically some of the rules which you can follow regarding the password. So protecting your data with the help of a password is one of the most common thing, or the most best method that you can protect your data, so that people do not get access to it. The next is keeping a backup of your data. So always keep a personal copy of your data along in additionally in maybe pen drives, hard drives or anything, so that in case there is a loss of data by any chance, or some data is used by some unauthorized users accessed, then you can have a copy of it or a backup of it with you always available. So try to keep a backup of the very important data. Next is use an encryption software. So usually which is available with an operating system or a third party software. This can help to protect the data from unauthorized users. So encrypting softwares will encrypt your data or create it into a form which is not readable by the common people. So to decrypt it, you will need another software. So such type of very important and precious data which cannot be compromised, you can use an encrypting software. Now also you have to keep your username and password private. So whenever you are using, as I already mentioned, whenever you are going to an internet cafe or when somebody else, you are using somebody else's machine to access some data, please see to it that you delete it everything from those particular machines, so that nobody else can access it later on. So this is very important when you are using in a shared environment, when you are using the computers. Now registering with websites. So sometimes you may need to register with a website for a particular thing. So you have to read through the registration policies and understand whether the website can use your personal data. You just read it and without understanding exactly, you just tick on it and agree to the terms and conditions, and they in the agreement would have clearly mentioned that they may use it for some particular purpose. So your personal information. So while registering for website, you have to read the policies very carefully before registering for any particular course or any particular activity, so that personal data is not used. The next is do not share your personal information. Sometimes it requires you to fill up some particular forms where you have to give your name, gender, email address, school address, etc. So be very cautious when you are filling these forms, and verify that it is from a very trustworthy website. That is, the information you are giving is to a very trustworthy website and not to some spam website. So you have to be very careful about what websites you are using. Now, secure transactions. Now, ensure that the website is very legitimate and uses secure practices for performing and maintaining the online transactions. This is very important. So, use only secure websites for transactions, and verify that that this particular, for example, if you are doing some online transaction where money is involved, see that there is a digital certificate with a golden lock on whenever the website is secure, then there is a golden lock on the on the address browser, which shows that it is a secure website. So always do online transactions only through such secure websites. Next is always use a good antivirus or an anti-spyware software. So malware tracks the browser behavior and transmits your personal information, and also it can also register certain keystrokes of yours, whatever keystrokes are there. So sometimes these malwares are very difficult, like you have to be very careful about when you are pressing these type of keystrokes and etc. So you have to install a very good antivirus and an anti-spyware program that offers you real-time protection, and also see to it that you update your antivirus and your anti-spyware softwares regularly at intervals, so that your data is fully protected. So this is another method in which you can protect yourself. The next is do not respond to mails from very unknown users. So sometimes fake mail IDs can gather your personal bank details or your home address, your mail IDs, etc. They can promise you jobs, they can promise you rewards, gifts, etc. And in such cases, viruses or scripts which are dangerously attached to the mail come over to your machine, and they may they can collect all your internal data from your machine. So you have to be very careful when you are responding to mails from unknown sources. Do not open attachments which are sent from unknown mail IDs. So do not, be very careful about it. Do not ever open up attachments or mails which are coming from sources which are not you are not aware of. The next one is always clear your browser cookies frequently. Now, what are cookies? Cookies are programs that are created on the local computer when you visit a particular site. So, though cookies are meant for storing the data based on your activities performed during your earlier visits, such as the login details and details of the shopping cart, visited websites, all this, it keeps a track. But then people can also, unauthorized users can keep a track of what actually activities you are doing on your browser, and they can gain access to your personal information. So it is always better to frequently clear your browser history and the cookies, so that you are safe, like because cookies can actually register what are your activities on the browser. So you have to clear your history very frequently. The next one is installing a firewall. So firewalls could be software or hardware, and it assists in keeping a computer's network safe. So a firewall analyzes the network traffic and determines if the traffic should be allowed or no. So in most cases, the operating systems like Linux, Windows, Macs, etc., they have their inbuilt firewall software as a part of their operating system. So this keeps your computer network pretty safe. In rare cases, you may have to have additional firewall security for your network, so that your network, that is your computers which are attached to one another over a network, are completely safe. So this is installing firewall is an additional security that you can provide. Now, never install softwares from unknown sources. So as the word, it's clearly mentioned here, some certain unknown sources, they may not be from, the software may not be from some reputed website. So you have to verify the source and see when you're legitimate by searching the internet and referring to the comments of others who have used it and downloaded the software. So you have to understand the nature of the software that you are downloading, and you have to see to it that why you the source from where you are downloading the software is proper, and it is a verified source. So this is the most important. Before attempting to download and install any software, please verify the source of the software. And remove software applications which are from unknown sources. So unwanted softwares that you have installed, and along with that, bundled with that, you can have some unnecessary softwares or unwanted softwares which come into your system when you visit unwanted sites. So some programs such as a toolbar gets installed automatically, and it is bundled with certain programs when you open it, and these programs may send personal data or your personal data without your consent. So you have to be very careful about it. So unknown software applications, you have to remove it as much as possible. The faster the better. And clearing your data stored in the browser. Already I explained to you, some web browsers have inbuilt password management which store your previous passwords of the forms that you have filled. So browsers often prompt you to save. When you are typing your password and your username, it asks you whether you want to save it. By default, it asks you whether you want to save it for future use. So it is always a best practice not to save it. So you just click on never. So it will not save that the password in that particular form. So this allows the user, so if you are frequently visiting a site, you need not keep on entering the password and the username again and again. So it helps you to do that. That is why they prompt you for giving this particular information and saving it. But it is always a good practice that you do not save your passwords onto your web browsers, so that if suppose somebody else goes and opens your machine when you are not there, they will also be able to access what you have done. So it is advisable not to leave your passwords on your web browsers, particularly if you are using it on shared computers or in a shared environment. So to conclude, we can say that following all the practices which have been mentioned before, which I explained to you, we can safely protect our computer and the data that is there on our computer from online threats and online transactions. Whenever we do it, we can maintain a good safety measure for our data not to be used by unauthorized users. So I hope you have understood this chapter very properly, and you will also personally follow all these measures for a safe usage of the internet. Thank you.